All right, YouTube. I'm starting off with 135. I'm making sure I hit depth. I'm not doing half quarter squats. We never do that over here at Rep and Time Fitness. And I want to get up to at least 315 or close to it pounds on the squat. My squat is my weakest lift, and it's only my own fault because if you use it or lose it, all right? So I lack doing squats that often, all right? So whatever it is, what I'm doing today is an SBD day, which is squat, bench, deadlift. And what inspired me to do this today was I gotta get back into frequently squatting so I can get back into my 400s. That's my goal for this year. And I'm not even in my 300s. I was at like 340 when I did my squat every day a couple months ago, and I lost that already. All right, so I got to bring that back and then go beyond. And what inspired me to do this today was SBD powerlifting event, Sheffield, where you had Russell Orhii. That's one of my favorite lifters, and unfortunately he lost bad. My other favorite lifter, pound for pound, king of the world when it comes to powerlifting is Austin Perkins. He won, of course, best lifter in the world. And I'm not saying that just because I'm black. You know, a lot of people say that. Dude, one of my favorite lifters ever in the world was Jesse Norris. All right, I don't give a care about color when it comes to this. One of my favorite rappers is Eminem. I don't care about that. I call it how it is, man. Whoever winning, whoever losing, losing. I don't care what you look like, what color you are, none of that. So right here, I'm gonna do 225, and I tell people all the time, man. I'm not using my belt on this one, and I'm gonna use my belt when I need to. But I tell people all the time, if your squat is deep and somebody else's squat isn't, if two people are lifting, right? One person lifting 225 and the other person lifting 500 or 600 pounds, and the person 225 is going all the way down like this instead of halfway that way, I'm going to respect that 225 lift a lot more, all right? Way more. And especially if the person weighs less, all right? So whenever you see me point to the sky, that means I'm about to lift more weight. I'm only putting a little bit more weight on a bar at the time because the squat is my weakest lift, and I'm showing my weakest lift first. Why? Because I want to just expose myself, but at the same time, that's how squat, bench, deadlift goes. That's how powerlifting lifts goes, all right? So 255 went up fairly easy, and I'm going to go to 275. Last time I did 275, I almost failed. I want to see if it goes up clean. If it goes up clean, I'm going to go ahead and put some more weight on there, 295 and then 305 and 315 and whatever. For me to get into my threes like I want to, I have to squat every week, twice a week at least. So my plan is to squat every workout day. I'm not going to squat every day like I did last time. I did like 90-some days, and some had some kind of carb problems that messed me up from the last. I was trying to do 100 days. I was only a few days away. I forget how many days I got up to. So I'm going to go ahead and do 275, and I'm going to put my belt on, and I'm going to go and see how this looks. And then if it feels good, if it ain't too struggly, which it shouldn't be, I'm going to go ahead and put some more weight on there. And it's not a strength problem. It's a fear problem, all right? It's a fear factor. I wasn't as deep as I wanted to be, but I do think that was deep enough to count. But, yeah. So it was it's like I almost paused at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put 10 more pounds on each side, which makes it 295. This should be easy weight for me. But like I said, if I do this, I could throw 3 plates on there and do 315. Should be easy weight for me. It's not heavy. It's just that I hesitate. And that hesitation, that slight half a second hesitation, makes it feel like it's twice heavier than it actually is. So I went ahead and bailed out, and I was like, nah. That's enough squat for the day. This is kind of like a test, and what I'm going to do, my next day that I squat, I'm going to take 80% of this and squat that and then, bump my way up. So I'm going to go ahead and bench press. This is like a powerlifting bench press. You got the regular bench, the powerlifting bench. The bench that I like using is over here. And I'm going to show you the problem with my bench press as of late. They bolted it down, which is cool, so it can't move. But at the same time, they bolted it down to where it's crooked. I like to line it up with the ceiling. All right? And it's like this, man. When you're lifting crooked, you're begging for an injury. Now I got to get used to another bench press that I don't even use. This is a great bench press, but I'm not used to using it. So for me to go my maximum strength on this bench press, I'll be asking for an injury, all right? So How heavy has I benched lately? The heaviest I benched was like 305. The heaviest that I've ever benched was like 365. But I weighed like 230 when I did that. Right now I'm weighing like 170 even. All right. So I'm so used to using those things to push off of. Getting into this, the problem with this is getting into position. All right. It ain't the weight, it's getting into position. This is 135. And I was kind of struggling with that. I'm a 300 and something pound lifter, and I was kind of struggling with 135. I'm not really feeling my leg drop. I'm out of position. It looked like I'm in position, but look and feel is two different things, all right? So I'm thinking, like, how am I going to do this? I got to get used to it. It's just something that's going to take a couple weeks of me getting used to if I decide to keep using this bench, all right? So this is 185, 15 pounds above my body weight. Should be easy weight, but like I say, getting into position, man. So I don't even know where to sit at on this bench. How far from the bar should I be, or none of that. That's gonna come with time, you know. If I choose to keep using this bar, all right. And I'm coming to the gym after hours. That way, people won't be talking to me and go, "Oh, so what you should do?" I don't need advice. I just need to lock in, pay attention to what I'm doing, and pay attention to what's going right and what's going wrong, and make decisions from there. You know, beginners will try to, and I got that, the racks are too low. But right now I'm thinking that the bench is crooked, and it kind of is. So I'm trying to move it over, and it doesn't move over. The actually whole bench does, but the bar to the actual bench that you lay on, the ratio is out of whack. So I'm lifting on a crooked bench still. Not as crooked as the other one, but still. So I'm kind of even scared to go to 225, but I'm going to go ahead and go to 225 and see how it feels. And if it doesn't feel good, I'm going to inch my way up until I feel very uncomfortable. And then I'm going to just go ahead and give up on it and go ahead and deadlift. And what my goal is today is to do at least 1,000 pounds, which is going to be kind of hard because my squat was only 275. 1,000 pounds meaning all three lifts added up. 1,000 pound club, all right? So my bench, I'm going to go ahead and spoiler alert, I didn't even hit 275 on a bench. I did like 255, and then I'm gonna do the math. I pulled my calculator out. So I'm gonna do the math after this. So I did 225 for a couple reps. My max of 225 recently was like 12 reps. Right now I'm thinking like, man, should I keep doing this? How much weight will I be comfortable with? Then I pull my fingers out and start counting on my fingers. I said 10, 20, 30, so I'm going to put 30 more pounds on there. Right now, I'm really in deep thought. Should I keep going or not? 10, 20, 30. I'm going to go ahead and put 30 more pounds on there, which makes it 255, and I'm going to bench that. And if it feels good, my goal was at least to do 275. If it feels good, I'm going to go ahead and do 275 and call it a day for the bench press. So that's 255 right there. Of course, I got to put the other ones on. This bench is actually cool. You can stand right there, spot somebody. These right here can save you if you fail. This bench is cool as heck, but I'm just not used to using it. All right? And I don't use spotters. It's kind of, you see how it's kind of crooked? You might not be able to tell. I think I'm standing crooked, which means being crooked makes your whole body crooked. A lot of people who don't lift a lot of weight won't understand that everything, the heavier you go, the little things that might not matter even more. Everything, it amplifies the more weight you put on the bar. It's like crashing into a building. If you crash into a building at 2 miles an hour, might not get hurt, whatever. You crash into that same building at 100 miles an hour, now what's going to happen? What's the odds of even surviving? So that right there was very awkward. If you got a lot of weight and pressure on the wrong things like your shoulder, you can damage yourself. I'm not going to lift more weight just to prove to anybody that, I could do it anyways, no matter what. That toughness to get you effed up, all right? So let's see boom, this. My goal was to do 1,000 pounds, added up, right? So minus 275 for the squat, which leaves me at 725, minus 255 for the bench press, which leaves me at 470 for my deadlift. That's easy. That's easy work. That's like, I could do that in my sleep. So my goal was to do at least 510. So divide that by 3, you get my body weight. So that's 3 times body weight deadlift, all right? So anything above that is like world-class powerlifting, all right? So, you know what I'm saying? Then I did some other math, and I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Oh, that's how much it'll be if I did that 455. So 1,000 pounds was the goal, and I did the rest of. This is 455. I did the warm up. I didn't start with this. I warmed up the right way, but I listened to music on my way up. So I got to put a 5 and a 25 on each side to make it 470. All right, I'm gonna do 470, and that's 1,000 pounds right there. Not that, I'm saying I'm doing it with no gloves, no straps, no chalk, no nothing. That's raw, ashy hands. Me against the bar. There's no chalk on this bar. Look at this bar. I'm not using chalk or nothing like that. That's just to make it harder on myself because I'm training to get stronger. I'm not filming my workouts to show off my strength. Not yet. Not yet. That's going to come when my numbers go up, all right? I got to bring my squat up. With my squat coming up and the taste of victory is going to make my bench and my deadlift come up. And I got to get used to whichever bench I choose to use, all right? So 455, that was almost all back, but luckily this ain't even that much weight to me. And after that, I got into like 3 or 4 long conversations which threw me off. So I went in, instead of doing 510 like I wanted to do, I went to 495, which should have been easy. But I'm telling you, man, after squatting, benching, and being disappointed, then conversations, all that added up on me, right? That 470 wasn't even that hard. It just was like, man, once you're beat, you are beat. It's like this, though. I was thinking about Russell Orhii, and at the end of his workout, he gave up on his last deadlift attempt. And I was thinking, like, did he get injured or whatever? And all these things are going in my head while I'm also feeling fatigued. So 495, which is only, 25 more pounds than what I just did, which is easy. I just couldn't bring myself to even really try, all right? I tried it a second time. Usually it's 2 times and then I'm out lately. But I tried it for a third time too, and I was like, all I had to do with this second time was stand up with it. Look. Put it off the ground. Could have just stood up with it, but I was thinking about Russell, man. Injury is not nothing to play with, so I did it a third time. I did it from the angle that I'm used to doing it at. Like I say, being used to something, a specific angle with the camera, specific. When you're filming, it's different than when you just actually just lifting. If I wasn't filming, this would have been easy. But for specific equipment on a bench, and all this added up to me just saying, nah, be safe.